Hi everyone, I'm the Stuffed Tano here, the internet's busiest music nerd, and it's time for a review of this new Joanna Sternberg record, I've Got Me. New sophomore LP from singer and songwriter Joanna Sternberg. I kind of missed the train with their debut back in 2019, but I'm definitely getting on at this stop, that is for sure. Cause this is one of those folksy, cute, somewhat homespun projects that have a super intimate sound and come off as very endearing. Think of the earnestness that comes across in the music of like Kimya Dawson or Daniel Johnston. But while Joanna's music lands in a similar realm of rawness, I think there's something more studied and groomed about the performances and songwriting on this LP too, as Joanna clearly has a pretty large base of knowledge to pull from when it comes to old styles of jazz, as well as folk music, ragtime, and spirituals. They generally seem pretty focused on traditional music at large, repurposing those melodies and chords and grooves in their own way to address more modern or at least complicated emotional struggles. Case in point, the track Stockholm Syndrome, which is a song all about being taken advantage of by someone. As Joanna describes them, they seem kind of sociopathic, emotionally distant, as well as we get all of these descriptions as to how things between these two broke off. The presentation instrumentally on this track is super simple as well, between the gently strummed acoustic guitars and Joanna's very peculiar voice. Peculiar but also bold and standout, and kind of fitting for the eras of music that Joanna pulls from. I would also say, like, in terms of timbre and tone, fans of Big Thief and Adrian Lenker may want to take notice too. So yeah, some of the instrumental palettes on this project are pretty skeletal, but Joanna's writing is often so strong and so narratively fluid, it doesn't really need a whole lot of support for it to have an emotional punch, especially with lyrics like, "Did you keep your room dirty so I'd feel like I had the flu? Did you expect me to clean it like your mom must have done for you?" The rest of the tracks on this thing are presented in a similarly simple state and showcase more struggles with difficult people and difficult feelings. Be that the title track, which reads like an aspirational pat on the back, or a pep talk about getting over self-loathing and self-deprecation, or an obsession with the sort of worry that, as Joanna describes, leaves them just paralyzed and wasting time. There's also People Are Toys to You, which is all about an individual who's kind of a person user, going from individual to individual until they get their fill, and Joanna sings about essentially being at the other end of this treatment. All in all, the track is a very direct and cutting character portrait. There's also Right Here, which is all about being hung up over someone who is gone and may or may not even care about you anymore. Joanna sings lines like, "I'll lose you, you won't lose me, won't survive here without you," toward the very end too. Who hurt you? What happened? That's really all I can say coming away from this track. The closer gives me similar vibes as well. But the entire record is not doom and gloom, let me assure you that. Tracks like I Will Be With You as well as I'll Make You Mine are genuine and cute songs of love and devotion, with the former sounding like a musical intermission during a local theater production or school recital in the best way possible. There is a slight amateurish feel to it that's cute and makes the emotions behind the track just feel, really sweet and innocent. There's a similar vibe coming off of the song Mountains High, which is a piano ballad held up by this very lightning in a bottle in the moment performance. Joanna laces the track with a message about giving yourself grace, which is a pretty consistent theme throughout the record, and just doing your best through whatever emotional struggles may you be facing. The Love I Give is a very simple throwback type of folk song with some trusty chords and some straightforward words. Whole thing sounds like a tumbleweed rolling by during the Dust Bowl era. But the message is about being a loving person, even if you may find yourself in places where you're giving more than you get. Personally, I worry about being taken advantage of with such an approach, but there is an emotional intelligence to this record that it's advocating for pretty consistently throughout that honestly is beautiful and is admirable. Instrumentally, toward the end, there is an interesting switch up of sorts with the song The Human Magnet Song, which is kind of a piece of piano rock. It's cool this sort of thing can be pulled off and incorporated into the record, but I'm not entirely sure if Joanna's vocals work as well in this context as, the very simple and, straightforward, very kind of heartstring pulling ballads. Further criticisms I have of the record on the whole is that it is a little brief. Sometimes the performances are blemished to a fault. A couple songs feel as if they're written around really unhealthy fixations. But with all that being said, it's still a very solid collection of tracks. A big quality batch of sweet, endearing songs that have a traditional flair to them. I'm feeling a light to decent 8 on this one. Transition, have you given this record a listen? Did you love it? Did you hate it? What would you rate it? You're the best, you're the best. What should I review next? Hit the like if you like. Please subscribe and please don't cry. Hit the bell as well. Over here next to my head is another video you should check out. Hit that up with a link to subscribe to the channel. Anthony Fantano, Joanna Sternberg, forever.